Hey there, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Really appreciate you being here. So, I actually had my first ever dislike on any of my videos. Actually, I had 2 in a row. Both of them were on the past 2 videos, so that's perfectly fine. I would just be curious. What is it that you like and dislike about the videos? So that is something I really want to hear. I mean, if the audio quality was bad, then yeah, that's definitely something I'm working on. But I'm hoping it's because the content of what I was saying was something you didn't agree with, which that is great. So please, by all means, leave a comment if it's something that you like about what's being said, or if it's something you dislike, or something that I might have missed. Please leave a comment. I'd really like to get a discussion going. So anyway, as for this video goes, I was watching some Breaking Point news, and Crystal did her monologue on a unusual statistic, something that I'd known about for a while now, but apparently a more recent poll showed the numbers have gotten higher. But apparently more and more Americans are not only expecting civil war here in America, but some of them are actually like all about it. So anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and give her the table. Sorry, that's a bad pause.
New polling and research shows that voters across the political spectrum might be kind of open to this existential rhetoric coming from political candidates and from elites. A growing number of Americans believe that the American project is coming apart completely and may fracture in the coming years. A recent YouGov poll found 49% of Americans say they believe America will cease to be a democracy in the near future. Only 25% thought that democracy would actually persist. Another 25% said that they were not sure. That means about 3/4 of the country at least has some real doubts about the future of our national experiment with democracy. This is across the partisan spectrum, by the way. Those with the bleakest views consumed the most partisan media. So of all the demographic groups that they tested here, Fox News viewers and MSNBC viewers and those who watched the January 6th hearings live, they were the most likely to see democracy as doomed.
All right, so a quick note on that. I think the way that the previous poll was worded would definitely gear more towards people that watch MSNBC and especially the January 6th hearings. So it's not necessarily saying democracy will end as in civil war, but something will alter the way it looks today. So, and again, I think that has to do more with wording.
Even more troubling, similar numbers of Americans believe they will see a civil war in their lifetimes. 46% said it was likely. Only 19% said they were not sure. Only about 1/3 of Americans thought it was unlikely that civil war was coming. Once again, consumers of partisan media were most likely to believe that a nation-destroying war was in fact likely. Now, this actually lines up with a groundbreaking new study that seeks to examine exactly these views. In the preprint of that research, fully half of respondents say they believe we will see a civil war in the next few years. 68% perceive a serious threat to our democracy. And as this existential sense of doom and conflict rises, willingness to resort to violence and to back strongman leaders also seems to have increased. 12% said they were willing to personally commit political violence. And perhaps most troubling of all, 40% said, quote, having a strong leader for America is more important than having a democracy.
So this is actually something I've been hypothesizing since about 2015. If you look at all the previous civil wars that have happened around the world throughout history, it seemed like around 2014, 2015, we're starting to gather all the ingredients together to make something happen along these lines. So the fact that the numbers are as high as they are today is not surprising, but I am surprised at how high they are this early on. So one of the big urgencies that I have for, wanting to run for office and get the Titus Act passed and the ACB and then the Easy Peasy plan was to avert this type of thing from happening. So what's happening is for the past 40 years, there's just been political gridlock because when a certain group gets into office, they still have to deal with the other group somehow, and they don't want to do too much all at once. So the right has always been kind of centrist, and the left has always been kind of centrist. as far as actual policy making. Now, what they pound on their chest and huff and puff and say on the debate stage, different story. But what actually gets passed is a lot more centrist. And a lot of this is because, well, you got to try to please everybody. And when you please everybody, you please no one. So anyway, I think that's part of it. But the solution that I believe would be to pass the Titus Act. Gosh, there's so many people I've seen personally, either talk to in person or even just stuff I see on the media. People are more open to like, yeah, let's just go ahead and call the whole thing off. Whole thing being America. Let's just go ahead and break up. America is essentially several different countries anyway, so why don't we all just be our own little country and give up on this whole thing that is United States of America? And I think that's such a terrible approach, terrible mindset to the whole thing. You would have the same effect of having a bunch of individualized countries if you simply had something in place called the Titus Act. Well, not specifically the Titus Act, but something along the lines of where you're, having more state-controlled governments, basically like ancient Greek had city-states. So something not too dissimilar from that. So the Titus Act could get us from where we are to that position, and that's the whole reason why I came up with it in the first place. So I think the best way to avert this kind of thinking and mentality is to do that. Now, another great way to avert it is to just somehow hold politicians and media accountable for all this division that they're stirring up for personal gain. That'd be one way to go about it, but at the same time, I think that kind of stuff needs to play out and let those individuals reap what they sow. The better way to go about it would be to just let everybody have their own, essentially, smaller country that they could run and govern like they need to and see fit, while having the overprotection of a strong federal government that enforces a military to make sure everybody's being able to cooperate properly and that there are no foreign threats. So anyway, that's pretty much all I got. There's more of this video. I'll throw a link in the description, so if you want to watch her whole monologue in its entirety. She pretty much gets into, outside of what she said here, she gets a lot into how it's partisan, like this partisan side says this partisan side says this, and then that's where they clash. So, but anyway, I really appreciate your time. Thanks for being here. Again, if there's something that you want to add to this conversation, please feel free to leave a comment. I really enjoy reading your comments. It makes me feel good, but also gets my thinky bits going, especially if I miss something or something you disagree with. I really enjoyed reading those. So anyway, that's all I got for now. So thank you much. Take care and stay classy.